Hi, I'm Marky.
And I'm Andrew.
And this is the Happy Everly After podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Happy Everly After podcast. My name is Marky Osler, and if you don't know already, just know that this is a place we talk about being happy and sad at the same time. And I feel both of those things very extremely, and I talk about those things here on the podcast. Last week's episode, you guys, I'm just proud of myself for vocalizing any of my feelings. I haven't listened to it yet. I will do that after this, but I am recovering from so much of a sadness, depression hangover. I'm okay. I feel like I'm still a little tender, but when I'm really tender and when I'm feeling that way, I'm so completely grateful that I'm able to have love and support around me to help me through those times. You know, not everybody has that. Not everybody has an unconditional, loving husband who would freaking do anything for me. Not everybody has the means to afford to go to a therapy appointment every other week or do ketamine treatments. So I just first off wanted to say thank you to everyone for the love and support. And you know what? As I'm recording this right now, that episode isn't even out yet. So like, even the support I've gotten already from last week's episode is unbelievable. And I just am so grateful. They say bad things come in 3. I would say 4. That's like kind of the things I talked about last week that were all the whammies for me that were kind of making me down. I have a friendship shift. Did we understand that? Shift happening, and that has made me pretty emotional. The ketamine appointment brought back some feelings that made me pretty emotional. The Reddit post, I haven't even looked at it since the first time I read it. I have had people send it to me, more people send me links to it, and of course I've had people go and like back me up and like type a bunch of stuff. I am not brave enough, nor do I need the negativity in my life to go read what's on there, and that is okay. I am okay. I truly do think that I maybe touched on this a little bit last week, but I think that the traits of a narcissistic person is somebody who hears critique about themselves and they don't take anything away from it. I understand that people have their own opinions. I understand that for the most part, 99% of people who know me and follow me on social media love and support me, and they're so great. That other 1% can be very hurtful. And even though their words can be really hurtful, that doesn't mean that I'm not self-aware enough to ask myself questions about things that come up. If you're curious, just go look it up. I don't freaking care. I will probably never read it again, but it's just a thread of people basically saying everything about me that I already don't like about myself. So it really was hard last week when I got that. I don't have like notifications on my phone that like, oh, someone on Reddit is talking crap about you. No. A couple people sent me this thread and it's just really bad. So anyways, there's that. Go look it up if you want it. You don't have to. It's sure. Pile on, add to it. I read it once. That was enough for me. And I am fine to take the criticism and try to be better. I really am. I'm trying to take it all with a grain of salt and a heart that isn't defensive, but a heart with compassion and maybe just trying to understand where the people are coming from. Okay, so there's that. Friendship thing, ketamine was really, really sad. The Reddit post. And then the fourth thing was that there was a mouse under my sink, and I tie so much of my self-worth into keeping my house clean. I'm just gonna go like this. Little bit of dust there. That is what I do. I am a clean person. I'm the type of person that every time I fill up gas, which is rare, I use hand sanitizer after. After I put hand sanitizer on my hands, I wipe it all over my steering wheel. I don't care if it does nothing. All I know is that it's helping me feel better about all the disgusting germs that just got on my hands from some nasty person who just paid with cash, and that I can't even talk about the things and places that cash has been. So that's how my anxiety spiral works. What about you? Because that's mine. Okay, so with all of those things, having a mouse in my house, we haven't had any other mice. That was just one. I'm like, does it have a family somewhere? Like, I just can't live here. If that's the case, somebody else has moved in. Enjoy my home. I will be elsewhere. Bye. But since then, we haven't seen any other mice, so that is good. Oh, I think that is just God throwing me a bone, being like, ooh, we better not put another mouse in there because Marky's on the brink and she's going to lose it. I have dark humor. Sorry. Enjoy that. Okay. So I came on here to talk about my ketamine treatment last night. So this is technically ketamine episode number 5. The first one was an introduction, but so this is like kind of number 6, but this was my 5th treatment and pretty short and sweet. I was actually very scared to go into it. Scared's not even the right word. It was more like, I don't want to go and do another round of ketamine if I'm going to be this sad coming out of it every time. It was just so overwhelmingly sad. And now that I've come out of that a little bit, it's so weird because it's like, you like picture something that happened to you when you were a kid and you're like, oh, like that is so sad. Like, I'm sorry you like dealt with that or saw that or experienced that. That's kind of how I feel about last week. I'm literally like, oh my gosh, that freaking sucked so bad. Thank goodness you're like out of it a little bit and you're okay. Like, look, you're okay. So I'm literally just like pep talking myself like, I'm coming out of it. I'm coming out of it. And I'm telling you, I was this close. I'm holding up an inch of my fingers to calling and canceling. And I was talking with Drew and he was like, honey, you've been saying this whole time that you really wanted to stick on the regimen that they recommend. And they recommend doing a 6 treatment regimen. And each time they give you a little bit more ketamine, like the dosage. The dosage is still so low, you guys. I've said this in another episode, but ketamine, a lot of the times they use for anesthesia, but they give you like so much of it that you're asleep and paralyzed. The dosage they're giving you when you're doing it for your depression is so much lower. It's so safe. It's fine. I am fine. Again, I can wiggle my fingers and wiggle my toes the whole time, even if I am disassociating and like going off into this other world. And while I'm in this other world of beautiful pictures and images, normally I feel perfectly fine. The first 3 treatments, I felt warm and toasty and cozy and like, wow, this is so cool. And like everyone needs to try this in a safe environment. And if it's in the name of having a healthy brain, I'll sit around here and get high all the time. Thank you for that, sir. Round 4, again, was last week. And again, nothing like scary popped out. But for some reason, the entire time I was in the state, I guess, if you want to call it that, I just felt so much sadness. And you can go listen to the episode last week, but so much sadness. I even wrote in my journal the word despair because I felt so sad. And I was sad because for some reason it was attached to a part of my life where I don't even remember anything really bad happening. I did go to my therapist a couple days later and he said, you can honor like all the awesome times that you had in that time. Like you don't have to like tarnish that time in your life if it was a beautiful time in your life. But while you're honoring like the happy feelings, then like you can still like recognize and honor the feelings of sadness then too. And I'm like, don't I preach every single day in my life that I'm happy and sad at the same time? Yeah. Sounds familiar. That's literally what I preach every single day. So I was like, I'm just like, oh, like I'm so scared. Like I don't want anything big and scary to happen at that time in my life and like tarnish it. No, like it can literally just be that in that time of your life, while all these really fun things were happening, maybe you didn't feel very safe at that time period, which is true. And I won't go into that right now, but my psychiatrist knew. He was like, isn't that the time that like this started happening and that started happening, and maybe you feel like you lost your sense of like safety or security around that time? And I was like, oh, damn. Yeah, you're right. You're a freaking genius, and that's why I pay you $1 zillion. So, okay, so that was that. I was scared to go to my ketamine number 5, which was last night. I was really nervous. I got there. I told them I was nervous. I literally was so straight up with all my feelings because I didn't want to do it again. Like I was like, no, I don't want to do it again if I'm going to be that sad. And it like threw off my entire week. Like last week was shit. Like it really was. And I did have, circumstantial things happen too. So like whatever, but I told them exactly my feelings, and they were so supportive and so nice. And they said that they didn't say it was like common, like number 4 is going to be the hardest treatment you have. No, but I've personally heard that from other people that around their 4th or 5th treatment, that's like when their eyes started opening to like what the ketamine was trying to heal in their brain. So I'm just taking that and running with it. Long story short, I went in for my next treatment last night, told them how I was feeling. They explained to me how important it is to like stick to the regimen and that I'm doing so great and to like allow myself to feel those feelings. And they made me feel comfortable, and I was like, let's freaking go, man. And they shot me up on one arm, and I laid there comfy, cozy, enjoyed the ride, enjoyed the images in my mind. I felt comfortable. I felt safe. I felt loved. I felt peace. I was like in no hurry to like get out of there or to like get sober or whatever you want to call it. I was good. Like I was like, oh yeah, like this is that feeling that feels good. And these are the images that are like so rad. And I can like sit here and enjoy these rad images knowing that the medicine is healing my brain. So that's all. Ketamine number 5 was like fairly similar to my first couple treatments, just warm and cozy, comfortable the whole time, never felt uncomfortable. I could wiggle my fingers and wiggle my toes and I was fine. And then I would kind of just like have like dreams, but I was awake, but I could like see the dreams in my head and like, or in my eyes. It's so freaking weird. Everyone needs to try it because I will never be able to describe it. And that's all. So I guess this episode is a follow-up to last week. I'm okay. I'm doing okay. And also, I dove back in. I stuck with it. They're proud of me for sticking with it. And everything was okay. And so that's fine. I don't know what the next treatment will be. Technically, the next one is my last one. You can like do boosters. Like I know that some people that suffer from depression, they'll like go get like a booster ketamine treatment like every 6 months or like whenever they're feeling low or whatever. I might partake in that throughout probably the winter because I get really bad seasonal depression. This is kind of why I'm doing ketamine right now, is because I just don't want to be sad all fall and winter. I just really don't. I have all these anniversaries of Everly's birth and her death and like all that trauma. But even with all of that, you guys, like I really am okay. Like those anniversaries are obviously hard, but I'm okay. Like I'm okay. I'm telling you right now that I am okay. I'm not just saying I'm okay, please save me. I truly, this time of year is just like such a reflection time of year when it comes to that time in my life. And this year will be 7 years. I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's really weird. Anyways, so that is all for today. There is my update. Thank you for being along on the journey. And I just appreciate your guys' support, and share with your friends. If you have anybody who is contemplating doing ketamine treatment, if anybody has if you know somebody who has depression, anxiety, sure. But I would say that it's really helped me with my depression. And then as well as trauma, like PTSD symptoms or trauma. It won't erase those feelings, but guys, it might help and it might bring you some relief. So reach out if you want more information about that or if you have any questions. But thank you so much for listening. And I just really appreciate you, and I appreciate your guys' ongoing support. Okay, love you. Bye.